Am I the a-hole for giving my mother-in-law a fake copy of my house key and exposing her on Christmas dinner? I want to preface this by saying that I, female 34, married my husband, 37 male, a year ago. His mom is snoopy and annoying AF. She can't help it. That is just how she is, as my dear in-laws say. So my husband and I purchased a new house recently. My mother-in-law kept pushing to get an emergency key. She promised that she would only use it in an emergency. But given the fact that she had an emergency key to our old apartment and walked in on us being intimate twice, but my husband didn't think it was that big a deal, I just couldn't trust her, so I sent her a fake key after she kept pushing, and she had a smug on her face after I hand delivered it to her. Well, I mean, that's pretty smart. I can't believe she walked in on you twice. What's with these parents like snooping so much? They're adults. You don't need to snoop at their house. Days gone by, and on Christmas dinner, mother-in-law angrily called me out on the fact I gave her a fake copy of the house key. She shamed me for doing this in front of everyone, but in my defense, I asked her how she found out, and she said days ago when she came over at 4 while my husband and I were out. I reminded her, didn't you promise you wouldn't use it unless there's an emergency? So you tried to get in when there was no emergency, and you broke the promise you made to us. She looked red in the face, and the other family started staring, and some even laughed at her for the face she made. I can see why she was embarrassed. She suddenly got up from her seat and rushed into the kitchen, where she had a huge meltdown so loud the next door neighbors must have heard. Literally, I've never heard a 60-plus-year-old woman throwing a tantrum like that. Needless to say, dinner went awkward, and my husband and his sister were giving me looks. Uh-oh. My husband went off on me in the car and said I lied and manipulated and humiliated and exposed his mom, and said he wouldn't have let me get away with it had he known. We had an argument, and he's demanding I apologize to his mom for my childish behavior and ruining Christmas dinner for the whole family. Oh my gosh, I think you need to divorce him, honestly. These women should not be with this type of husband. If your husband doesn't stand up for you in front of his parents, that's not a good husband. Divorce! Yeah, she needs to divorce him. And also, how did she ruin Christmas when the mother-in-law was the one that brought it up in the first place? That's not okay. And she knew that her mother-in-law was gonna snoop too. That's why she gave her the fake key, because she knew it. And the husband is still on his mom's side. That's crazy. Am I the a-hole for setting up a glitter trap to catch my mother-in-law trying to snoop? For some weird reason, my mother-in-law really wants to go into our bedroom whenever she comes over. On one occasion, I followed her as she went upstairs. I was going to get something for my child, as the bedrooms are upstairs, and she walked past the bathroom on the main floor and up the stairs behind it. She didn't hear me, and I caught her walking straight into my room and rifling through bills on my dresser. She denied snooping, even though I just watched her do it. And she said she was just going to use our bathroom because she couldn't find the other ones. She walked right past the one on the main floor and another one in the upstairs hallway to go into our bedroom. That's crazy. Yeah, that's definitely snooping. Since that happened, I installed an exterior doorknob that requires a key. Since that happened, I installed an exterior doorknob that requires a key on our bedroom door and one on the door to our office/spare bedroom. Well, that's good. I mean, she's not gonna be able to snoop anymore. However, she's always forgetting where the bathroom is and trying the bedroom and office door. This really ticks me off. I mean, as it should. That's crazy. My husband says that I just get annoyed at this because everything she does drives me crazy, and since we put locks on the rooms we don't want her in, there isn't really a problem anymore. Well, I mean, technically there's not a problem, but his mother is still, invading their privacy. That's not okay. Like, it just prevented her from doing the behavior. It didn't. That's crazy. Well, over the holidays, we had my in-laws over for dinner, and before they came, I was searching for the bedroom keys. We hadn't used them in a while since we only lock the doors when mother-in-law comes over. My husband told me we didn't need to lock the doors since she wouldn't try to get into the rooms, and I insisted that she would because she loves to snoop. I mean, that makes sense. Take away the keys and she's gonna snoop. We went back and forth and decided to cover the doorknobs in super fine glitter to see if she tried them. I did this once before when husband didn't believe me about the snooping to prove she'd been in the rooms. Last time she ignored the glitter and we didn't say anything about it, but then my husband couldn't deny that she tried to snoop. So he knows this has been a problem for a while and he just doesn't care. Well, so this time I covered the doorknobs in glitter, and for the office I went a touch further and rigged a little folder of glitter over the door to the office before the in-laws came over. I left one side of it unlocked, French doors, and it was a set, so if you walked in the room you would get covered in glitter. You'll be covered in glitter. Husband goes out of his way to show his mom the main floor bathroom when they got here, and specifically asks his parents and sister not to go upstairs. There's a baby gate so the kids can't get upstairs either. Well, guess who had to go to the bathroom and got covered in glitter and had it all over their hands and hair? She completely lost it and started screaming at me. So I yelled back, and now my husband is saying I went too far and I'm the asshole? Mother-in-law also says I'm the asshole, but sister-in-law says I didn't do anything wrong and mother-in-law deserved it for snooping. Father-in-law is in Switzerland. Apparently her car is ruined now too because it's covered in glitter that she can't get cleaned up. So am I the a-hole? Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think she is at all. I mean, the mom is snooping through her stuff every chance she gets. Like, that's not okay. That's super invasive. Like, and I can't believe the husband would side with her. Like, I would divorce him. Divorce him straight away. I would just straight divorce. That's not okay. If your husband ever sides with your mother-in-law over you multiple times, even though you proved them wrong, don't. You need to get out of that relationship. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife and in-laws to fuck off after they told me to stop cuddling my daughter? Well, ooh, that looks tricky. I mean, it depends on the way you were cuddling her. I mean, I don't know. I have 3 kids, 15, 12, and 7. My oldest has always been a cuddler, and that suits me fine because I am too. Recently, my in-laws were over and we're all watching a movie together. It was a kids movie, and so my 15-year-old was bored out of her mind and tired, so she started to snuggle up to me and go to sleep. After the movie was over, we sent all the kids to bed / their rooms and got chatting for a bit longer. There was a fair bit of wine involved. I was sober though. And eventually, after a short silence, my father-in-law let it drop that he thought it was inappropriate that I still cuddled with my 15-year-old. I don't really know why he brought it up suddenly, but I was prepared to laugh it off and just assumed it was the alcohol. To my surprise, my wife and mother-in-law both agreed with him. I have a lot of respect for my in-laws. I get along with them great, and I consider them closer than my own parents. Obviously, I'm quite fond of my wife as well, but I outright told them to fuck off and go fuck themselves, and then left them and went to bed. I've never spoken to any of them like that before, but it felt like the right thing to say at the moment. They all want me to apologize for being so rude to them. Am I the a-hole? Edit. We were spooning. She was sitting next. We were not spooning. She was sitting next to me, laying on my chest. Well, I mean, y'all weren't spooning, and, I think he took it a bit far to use that kind of language, but I can see both sides. Like, that was not okay of the grandparents to say. Like, I don't know what they were thinking, but, that's, like, you wouldn't say that if the daughter cuddled with her mother. Like, you only say that because he's a man, and that's not okay. Like, he's her father. He's allowed to show his daughter affection. And his daughter obviously feels safe with him, so it's fine. Well, anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you think these people are the a-hole or not. Thanks.